Oh! What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Review Show. It has been quite a fucking while since we've done a review show. Holy shit. Basically, me and James, we sat down, we looked over some shit and thought, you know, it's something that we've kind of done throughout the years as far as talking about the different games and everything. And if we timed this out just right, which we sat down and looked at a schedule, we were able to do a console comparison between the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. Nintendo's not going to be part of this due to the fact that it's basically just an upgraded version of what's already out, which is the Switch. So didn't really seem like a need to actually throw it into the ring to where the Xbox X Series, or Series X, should I say, Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are completely new consoles. One, and two, there's going to be a little bit of PlayStation games, Xbox, and Switch games that we're going to talk about, and this will lead us all the way up to the holiday season. So that way we can kind of cover a lot of the top titles. Obviously, some of these might be biased, which, you know, that's just going to happen. I mean, that's how it is. So don't really have anything else for you on that one. But other than that, we are going to kick off the first episode with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. We are going to take some time to kind of talk about each system respectively between each other versus the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, right? Is the little white one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the PlayStation 5 versus the PlayStation 5 that looks like it's pregnant.
Digital.
So, yeah, that one. So, yeah. And then afterwards, we'll kind of give our own thought process on which one we think is better, just based off the specs, and obviously what everyone really cares about, which is exclusives. So we'll go ahead and move right into it. I know James has kind of been burning at the seams here to kind of talk about his thoughts and views on the differences between the X and the S. So we'll start out with Xbox, and James, I'll kind of let you take it away.
I mean, the biggest difference that, you know, you're obviously going to see is the X and S. The S doesn't have the disk drive.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the S has less hardware specs, I guess you would say.
Little lacking on a lot of the RAM and the SSD and shit like that.
And memory and stuff like that.
And it looks weird. It just looks weird to
Yeah.
me. I like that.
Yeah, I
like the X way better than I like the S as far as the look. Like the X looks like a nice little kind of like a. I mean, everybody likes to call it a computer tower, but I don't. It's. I mean, anybody that's got a computer that small, congrats to you, I guess. But I see it kind of like. I mean, in my opinion, everybody makes fun of the PlayStation because it looks like a router. I mean, I've seen fucking modems and routers that look like this. So
yeah. And in my opinion, the Series X looks like a new console. The Series S looks like a redone Xbox One.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I could see that. So basically, at this point, if you're still wanting to get physical copies, you're going to want to get the Series X. The S is only going to be downloadable, but as James kind of pointed out, that memory aspect is going to kick in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that's concerned, I know we saw
the Series X comes with an internal 1 terabyte storage SSD.
Mm-hmm.
And the Series S comes with a 517 gigabyte SSD.
Okay. And we saw the pricing for it, didn't we? Yeah, the pricing's come out for this one already. The fuck?
I believe it's 500 for the X and 400 for the S. I think it's $100 difference.
Actually, no. It's $299 for the S and $499 for the X. Gotcha. Which, by the way, the deal that Xbox has going on. So first off, I won't get too far into it right now because I'll jump back into that at the end when we kind of talk about our personal views and what we're going to be doing. But for those of you who do know and those of you who don't, I normally buy the new Xbox, like pretty much pre-order and get that shit day one every time it comes out. I won't be doing that this year, and I'm going to get into why later on in the show. But if I was, um, it's actually funny. I've got like, is this official Microsoft? It's U.S. News. They've got the fucking prices up, but they fucking misspelled November. They got the
Maybe
R
you
and
just
the
don't know how
E.
to spell November.
Nah, I mean I feel like I know that November isn't November. So, but I mean I guess I could be wrong. Anyways, but Xbox's payment plan is, or I guess I should say Microsoft's payment plan is kind of fucking insane. Like that's actually a really fucking good deal because not only does it give you an option to pay off the system, at a decent rate that kind of works for most people who are looking at getting new systems. Because I mean, this has never been anything, in my opinion, has never been anything out there like that before. Besides, going to fucking Walmart and putting your fucking system on layaway. You know what I mean? That's never been like an actual fucking thing. But get an Xbox Series X or Series S console plus 24 months of the Xbox Game Pass or the Ultimate Game Pass. So for those of you who don't know, Live is going away. Like as far as buying that as a separate thing, it's already gone away. I'm pretty sure at this point. But if it's not, it's going away. And you are going to specifically only get that through the actual Xbox Game Pass. Now, you can choose to do the Game Pass or the Game Pass Ultimate. It's up to you. But if you are a person who has a computer, I strongly recommend the Ultimate. Being able to play the majority of your Xbox games on your computer is fantastic. Especially considering the fact if you are a gamer and have a gaming PC, it doesn't compare. As much as people like to sit here and talk about, being a console gamer for life, and I used to be one of them, the consoles are never going to reach the level that PCs are going to. It's not going to happen. And Xbox knows that. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's why they made the Game Pass Ultimate for a reason, was to give people a chance to still play their games on their PCs because, I mean, Windows is Microsoft. So, either way, they're making money. But so you won't have to worry about Live anymore, which is great. But this gives you 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So basically giving you 2 full years of Live and 2 full years of having the Game Pass where you can download any game that is on the pass that you want to on your Xbox X Series or I'm sorry, Xbox Series X or S. And on top of that, download any of those exact same games that you're able to on the PC as well. For those of you who are huge Microsoft fans, obviously one of those games that are always going to hit the top spot whenever you think about that is Halo Infinite. And they have already said that Halo Infinite will be launching on the Xbox Ultimate Pass, where you'll be able to play the entire game, campaign and multiplayer, Forge, all that fun stuff, for free day one on the pass, which is pretty insane versus going out and buying a brand new $59.99 Halo and an Xbox. Because honestly, if it was the other way around and Halo wasn't coming out on the or it wasn't coming out on the Game Pass, I would be buying the Xbox day one, so that way I could play the new Halo. Because that's just, Halo is literally one of the main stakes in my family, and we play that shit all the time. So I couldn't be the only one out not getting it. But yeah, here we go, right here. $34.99 for 24 months, no upfront costs, and 0% APR. For 24 months. That's fucking insane. For the S is $24.99 for 24 months, no upfront cost, 0% APR. And then the best value in games entertainment is, that's for the Xbox One S. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're wanting a One S, there's $22.99 a month for 24 months, no upfront cost, 0% APR. I don't know why you would want that whenever you could pay an extra $2 a month and get the next gen upgrade, or technically pay $12 more a month and get the ultimate to the next gen upgrade, which would be the Series X. But yeah, that's pretty insane, man. For Xbox to go out and do that, I don't think they've ever done anything like this before. I can't think of a person who's made a console and has done this. Like I said, the closest thing that comes to mind is layaway at like Walmart and GameStop and shit, where you can get it on their credit cards and fucking pay it off, so that way you could take it home. I remember doing it at Walmart back in the day when I was a kid. And you couldn't have it until you paid it off. So it was more along the lines of like, we'll keep it to the side for you, and then once you pay it off, you can come get it. So yeah, no, this is actually really nice way of making things a little bit more accessible. But at the same time,
You're almost paying double what the actual console's going to cost.
well, you say that, but at the same time, you got to factor in the amount of live that you're getting for 24 months. You got to factor that
Okay.
cost in on top.
Well, then
It was me, Tony, and Joey were talking, and we did the math on this one, and
$24.99.
it comes So well, if that's the S, if you're
Yes,
doing the
I'm
S,
talking about the S right now.
okay. So if we're talking about the
Twenty four
S,
ninety nine
yep, $24.99 a
for
month.
24 months
Uh huh.
is $599.76.
Okay. So
The
now
console is
the ultimate pass is $14, and that's for 2 years. So $14.99. So $15 for 2 years is what?
13.99 times 24. Okay, 359.76.
So you take that out of the cost, and what do you got? You subtract that out of your total that you had earlier.
You're asking a lot of shit for me right now.
Hey, I'm telling you, wanted to bring the numbers into this. All right, don't get mad at me. You want to be like, hold up 1 second. You're paying double the fucking price of the console. It's not my fault that you couldn't keep up with the math. All right, you shouldn't have fucking spoke up.
243.
All right, so 243. So you're actually getting the console for less than it actually cost, technically, if you take the price out of the actual Game Pass. So once again, like I said, pretty fucking sweet deal. But I am in no way, shape, or form here to jump on anybody whatsoever or try to act like I know all this shit, because I don't. I know some of this, but do not let the 0% APR fool you or the upfront costs. Pay anything. Pay your monthly bill as soon as you fucking possibly can. I know no upfront cost means like you don't have to do like $100 down payment and then you could fucking take it and then it's fucking $34.99 from there. If you have the money to do anything up front, I strongly suggest you do it. The faster you pay it off, the better. I guarantee you, somewhere within the fine fucking print, whenever you go to actually pre-order this, because I can only see the beginning screen because I'm not pre-ordering it. Well, once you go to pre-order this and you get to the point where you're entering in your information and you hit, I agree to this, read that fine print. Because whenever you run past those 24 months, if your fucking payments are not on time, there's not going to be that 0% APR. I highly doubt Microsoft's going to be like, just fucking pay us whenever you want to. It's not going to be like that. I know back whenever I first was doing my furniture payments, APR shot up through the fucking roof if you missed the payment. And on top of that, if you didn't finish it within the time allotted. Same thing with my Best Buy credit card. If that's not paid off whenever it's supposedly supposed to be done, it goes from 0% APR to like fucking ungodly number. It was like fucking 20 something percent, which is crazy. So don't just jump in thinking that this is the sweetest deal because of that. If you can make these payments and you can get this done in 24 months, this is a fucking great deal. If you can't, it's probably going to bite you in the ass later. But once again, just read the fine print. And if you need somebody's advice on it, take somebody that you trust, have them fucking read it over. I'm just saying, don't look at this and take it for face value because they're going to get their money. That's going to happen. Microsoft is going to get their money one way or another.
Now, I wonder if they're going to put some kind of like kill switch system in where if you get it and then don't, like, say you say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And then you get the console and then you don't make another payment. I wonder if they're going to put something in the console to where they can just shut it off and not make it able to work. You don't think so?
No. What they'll do is what every fucking person does, which is that if you can't make the payment, great, cool. They might miss out on their money, right? They're going to ass rape your fucking credit. 100% going to ass rape your credit. It has zero to do with getting their money. If they fuck your credit up, because then the credit bureau is paying that shit out and they're going to get their money, but the credit bureau is going to fuck your credit up. So the next time you go to try to do anything like this, you're going to get declined left and fucking right. And let me tell you something from personal experience of having to pull out loans in order to get into the place that I was in now. It is a climb. It is a fucking climb to get your credit back up. My credit was never bad, but I definitely dropped a little bit from where I was at that I worked so hard to fucking get by pulling out a loan to get into the place that I'm in now. And it is a fucking climb. I still haven't made it back yet, and it's getting close to a fucking year. I'm getting there. I'm almost there, but it is a fucking climb. And that's from me going from like really good credit to like okay, or not even okay, to good credit. From really good credit to good credit. Like, and that's without me having delinquent. What we're talking about here is delinquent charges. That shit fucks your credit up like big time. So that's a completely different scenario, completely different from what mine was. Mine was I had to do this, and so they had to hit my credit in order for me to get it approved because I didn't have enough loans taken out to show that I would be okay with paying these back yet in my young adult aspect of my life so far, which is just a normal fucking process that I have to go through. Everybody has to go through. So yeah, no, that is a completely different scenario, completely different. But yeah, no, they won't put a kill switch in there. That's they once. So once you buy something from someone, you technically own it. They can't just straight off kill it. But at the same time, they can do things to make it not as valuable as time goes on, which a lot of people get upset for Apple about. Apple does that shit all the time. The moment you buy their newest iPhone, within the first 6 months of owning it, it's ass. And the reason why is because they'll release updates. They'll give you new features. You'll download these updates. And every single one of those updates comes with a patch to fuck your battery just that much more. And just that much more. And just that much more. And just that much more. So by the time the next iPhone comes out, your battery can barely fucking hold a goddamn charge. And you're sitting there fucking plugged up to a wall. And you're thinking, oh, it'd be nice to get a new iPhone so I wouldn't have to be plugged up to a wall 24/7. That's business. That's the name of the game. So Xbox and them don't necessarily have that option because their shit's not wireless, but they still can fucking do stuff to where updates come out, slows your system down, system run times are a little bit slower, everything starts to just kind of not be as good as it used to. It's taking you longer to get into games, shit like that. And I'm sure they do. We just haven't figured it out yet, or we have. It hasn't been mainstream spread enough for everybody to fucking know it. So, and as we get closer and closer to, we get more of these consoles like the S, which in my opinion is crazy to me that the disk drive costs more than the one that's just digital, because the way the future, the way that we're going, everything's going to be digital. Like sooner or later, those disk drives are going to be phased the fuck out. That's going to happen. And the only reason they didn't do it this time is because everybody, in my opinion, was kind of like playing chicken with each other of who's going to be the first person to drop it, because whoever drops that, all those physical fans are going to immediately go over to the other fucking system because they like their and I've been one of those people. I like going to GameStop and getting that atmosphere of a midnight release and all this other shit. That's fun. But at the same time, if it's Halo and let's say the entire Dead Funny team is jumping on Halo, or we got like fucking 10 people who are jumping on Halo like night one, I'm not going to drive out to GameStop, be there an hour before the fucking store opens, get my game. They normally start selling it 10 minutes before midnight. Get my game 10 minutes before midnight, have to drive all the way back. At this time, you motherfuckers are already playing. You're already playing. Then I have to get back home. I have to take the disc out. I have to put it in. I have to install the game, and then I have to download the updates. Then I can play. By this point, it's like 1:30, almost closer to 2, and you bitches have been playing for like 2 hours. Not only have you gotten all those levels and all that EXP over me, but you've already got that much more of a handle on the game. Versus I can.
Well, that's nothing new.
Yeah,
I'm used to having more experience and stuff than you.
Yeah, you fucking wish. But nowadays, you can just fucking download the game, pre-download that shit, get everything completely good to go, and then the moment that shit hits 12 o'clock, bam, you're in the game. Done. It's phasing out, and it's going to keep doing that and going to keep doing that. I mean, look at GameStop now. They've gotten to the point where they started selling toys. They were already kind of doing that. They were selling toys and apparel and stuff like that to begin with. But now, whenever I walk into a GameStop, it's like cluttered. It used to be like open and you could walk through, and the main thing that you knew you were there for was games. Secondary, accessories. Third, all the other bullshit. Now it's like a
Right.
goddamn fucking flea market. You walk through, it's like all these fucking clothes, hats, boxers, socks. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, in the back, all the way in the corner over there, we still sell video games. But all this other shit would be nice if you could buy it as well. I mean, they got fucking game boards and shit up. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the other day I was in there and they're fucking selling comics. Like, what? When did that happen? Like, I would never go to GameStop to buy my fucking comics. It just makes no fucking sense. But I don't know, man. And like I said, a lot more brick and mortars like that are going to start closing down because digital's going to be the way to go. Digital is going to be the way to go. But I mean, it's very easy to see what Xbox's game and PlayStation's game was here is we'll give you the disc drive. But if you want to be all digital, we're going to give you less memory. And they're doing that so that way they can continue to gauge how many people are going to go physical. And then sooner or later, one of them, I don't know which one first, will make that drop and be like, no more physical.
Xbox was the only one to do that, though.
Only one to do what?
To cut down on the specs.
PlayStation cut down the specs, didn't they? Or they just added
No,
a disc drive?
the only thing that's different is the disc drive.
Really? I didn't know that.
They
Wow.
have this. They have the same resolution. Like the Series X is capable of 8K at 60 frames per second or 4K at 120 frames per second, whereas the Series X is locked at 144 for 112 or 120 frames per second. Whereas the PS5 has 4K and 8K for both.
Okay. Yeah, see that performance target is up to 120 frames per second. Okay. Yeah, and I hate it whenever people fucking bring that shit into it. It's like 120 frames per second, but it's like realistically, what game are you playing that's actually one drawing that, and two, the consoles never reach up to that. It's never gonna fucking happen.
It's not like you're gonna notice a huge difference at 60 frames versus 100 frames. You know.
Well, even if it did, you'd never know. It's not like a computer where you can pull up your fucking shit and see what your fucking your usage is. Right. You'd never know. You would physically never fucking know. We're just going off the fact that they're all like, oh yeah, up to. I mean, I don't know. It's nuts. But yeah, like I said, I mean that's kind of where me and James kind of have our conversation with the Xbox Series X and the Series S. We kind of talked about PlayStation a little bit too. We went on a couple rants about some other shit as well. But I mean, jump into place. I mean, I guess to kind of just run through the specs for people who don't know. The main targets that we're looking at here is one, obviously the GPU, because that's where your graphics are going to come from. We're also looking through your different memory, especially with your internal storage, the SSD. That's going to be how fast your games and everything are going to load in, your load times and stuff like that. That's what every console this year is kind of drawing as their racehorse here is our consoles load the games the fastest. And in my opinion, there's a clear winner onto that one, but we'll get there when we kind of talk about the differences between the two. But these are some of the stuff that you need to be a little bit more mindful when going into these. The CPU, the GPU, your internal storage, hardcore, the SSD is going to be one of the biggest things. Memory, in my opinion, at this point, is nowhere near as important anymore. Whenever we have external hard drives, like it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, I was able to fucking throw down like $150 and get me fucking 4 terabytes of an external fucking hard drive. I'm never gonna fucking use all that. It's just not gonna happen. For video, well, I don't know. I mean, video games keep getting bigger and bigger whenever they start to release now. Not to mention they're fucking starting to go up in price too. So I might be wrong about that. Maybe you might have to get a couple of fucking external hard drives. But hey, I guess we'll wait and see what happens whenever that happens. But so I guess to kind of talk about the PlayStation a little bit. So we talked about the fact that it's the same console. The only difference is that they have released a version that has a disc drive. So you're unlike the Xbox, as James pointed out, you're not going to lose specs. You're going to continue to have the same specs no matter which way you go. It just depends on if you're a person who likes to have their physical copies. I'm a fan of physical copies whenever it comes to games that I love for collector reasons, which means that the realistic chance of me actually putting them in the system are pretty much slim to none. For instance, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. Good example. I bought Soldier First Class Edition. On top of that, I also bought me the digital edition as well for the standard. So that way, day one, or minute one, should I say, I was able to fucking play. And I still had all my physical copy and everything like that for my collection aspect. Um, and I see a lot of other people who are collectors that do the same thing. And it doesn't surprise me. So, where people are actually going out and getting these games are going to be more of the people who really can't afford to get the brand new games when they come out. So they're doing the stuff like renting it from Redbox, or going in and getting the used games from GameStop and shit like that, where GameStop still somewhat makes its fucking money. That's where I see more of that kind of happening. I don't really know of a lot of people besides possibly people who are really wanting to get GameStop like pre-order bonuses, which in my opinion haven't really even been worth it that much recently for a lot of the fucking mainstream games. So I don't know. We'll see. In my opinion, I'm not gonna put any more stock in disc because it's gonna go away. If anybody thinks that disc is gonna make a big comeback and where we're gonna start going away from digital and go more towards the physical, you're wrong. I don't mean to be an asshole about it, but you're just wrong. Everything that we do today is moving more and more and more away from brick and mortar stores and more to the internet. I mean, I do probably close to, like, in my opinion, besides groceries, 75 to 85% of my shopping on Amazon. Or if I buy anything from an actual brick and mortar store, I buy it off their website, Best Buy's website, GameStop's website. I mean, my fucking Elite Series 2 controller was bought off of GameStop's website. I did not go anywhere. It was sent to me. So it's a lot more beneficial for stores these days to just have online stores and not have as many brick and mortars, which is why you see a lot of these stores like GameStop closing down their locations. Whenever I first moved up to Wisconsin, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 GameStops around me, and now I'm down to 3. And wait, no, 2. I'm down to 2. So yeah, and there's one on the east side, and then one over here closer to where I live. So yeah, I'm down to fucking 2 GameStops now, and that's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me that many have closed down. And I mean, to be fair, I've been up here a lot longer than sometimes it feels like, but still, that many of them have closed down. You're gonna start seeing that stuff with a lot of different stores. I mean, it's just something that's not going to change. That's just the best way to look at it. It's something that's just not going to change, and people need to kind of get ready for that. A lot of people are buying stock in these discs, and sooner or later, it's going to be a situation where your console is not going to have a fucking disc anymore. Like I said, the advantages to digital downloading is so much better being able to have the game down and ready to go before midnight release. Like, you can't, in my opinion, you can't put a price on that. So, besides, some of the places still do the whole, you can come and come out midnight release, and they'll do a tournament, and if you win first place, you get the game for free. But other than that, I mean, I don't see people going and doing it. And I mean, that's the reason why I did the Halos and the Gears of Wars. But even since I think the last Halo I got in person, oh fuck, it was probably 4. Yeah, it was probably 4. I think I got 4 in person, and then 5 I got digital. And yeah, I know Halo Wars 2 I got digital as well. So yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. It's nuts.
Can't remember the last game I actually went to a midnight release. I pre-ordered a bunch recently, but they've all been digital, not
right.
GameStop.
Exactly. Yeah, and even if I mean, even if we go back to the collection aspect, I mean, people are more than likely going to order that directly from the person who is releasing it. I mean, that's what I did with fucking Final Fantasy. I ordered that directly from Square Enix. I didn't get that from GameStop or Best Buy. That came directly from Square. So yeah, I just, like I said, I don't. If Final Fantasy 16 comes out with a special edition, it's something that I want. It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to order it directly from fucking Square. I'm not going to get it from GameStop. I'm not going to get it from Best Buy. It's just, I don't know. Some people also have aspects where they like to be like, oh, I'm not going to support that company and shit like that. That much, I don't really care. But I mean, whenever it does come to something like Square that makes the games that I like to play and shit like that, like if I can give them directly my fucking business, then I'll do that. I mean, that's just kind of how that is. But oh well. It is what it is. But yeah, so PlayStation 5. One of the things I don't like about the 5, white, dude. Why? I think that's it's you're talking about something you're gonna put down. Like, perfect example. This morning, I was up early, like super fucking early, and I was working on getting my Elgato to work correctly, so I could start streaming some fucking external shit again. And I moved my PlayStation 5 or 4 into my bedroom, or into my office, should I say? And I've got it all nice and hooked up, and it's a black system, but god damn was there dust all over it, like all over it. These PlayStation 5s have got to get dirty so fucking easily. And the absolute worst thing, in my opinion, they could have done is made the fucking controllers white. Good lord. You know how dirty your fucking hands are all the fucking time? Like, all the fucking time? I mean, dude, those controllers are going to look like shit quick. Like, real fast. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they did that. And so as far as I've seen, I haven't seen like a different color alternative to the PlayStation 5 yet. I've only seen white consoles and white controllers. So, which in my opinion is a terrible fucking idea. But hey. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, that's my biggest.
They're gonna have a black version.
They are?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Well, then that makes more sense. But yeah, because like I said, the white version it's just gonna get dirty, man. There's no point in that. It's just gonna fucking.
I think the black version looks a lot better.
Well, yeah, most likely probably does. I mean, think about it, dude. I mean, if you had the chance to fucking get a white car or a black car, you're probably gonna choose a fucking black car because the white's gonna get dirty as shit driving around. Like, it just makes sense, especially when you got something that's just gonna sit here and fucking collect dust. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Right.
I don't know. It's nuts. But anyways, we talked a little bit about this, a little bit about that. Now we kind of talk about the differences between the two. One of the biggest things that me and James were kind of talking about this a little bit offline was the speeds. The processing speeds is where, in my opinion, PlayStation has the upper hand. Once again, that for some reason this has been the horse that everybody has chose to ride in on, and PlayStation came with the fucking win. They might have a little bit less as far as the overall internal storage for the SSD, but where it's actually being split and put into different sections as far as from raw to compressed, they've got that down over Xbox. It's not even fucking close. Xbox or PlayStation's fucking speeds are going to be insane, which is great. I'm super happy about that because, as I kind of said earlier, I'm not getting an Xbox. But those of you know, there's not a chance that I'm not going to play fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 and Final Fantasy 16. So, and those are both Sony exclusives for at least a year. So, yeah, I'll have those baller ass speeds and I'll be okay with that. That'll be okay. But I mean, Xbox has certain things as well. You know, I mean, their GPU says that it's going to register higher because PlayStation does talk about a variable frequency, which means that, you know, it could be lower, it could be higher. So usually whenever you see something like that, it normally means that this is the chance it has to get up to, but realistically, you're going to be here. To where Xbox did not say it like that. They just flat out said this is what it's going to be, and that's it. So as far as the actual GPU level with, you know, your actual graphics and things, that's most likely going to look a little bit better on the Xbox. Once again, this is coming from someone who normally kind of likes to game on the PC, and nothing's going to be the PC. But as we're talking about the consoles, that's more of where we're at. That being said, as far as whenever it comes down to the actual consoles, everybody can sit here and fucking nitpick this, nitpick that. Everybody knows that in 4 years, whatever the Xbox doesn't do compared to the PlayStation 5, it's going to do in 4 years when they remake the Xbox Series X .2, and same thing with the fucking PlayStation. They do it every fucking 4 years. It doesn't change. And then 4 years after that, we'll have the newer fucking consoles. So getting lost in the actual specs really isn't worth it, in my opinion, for the fucking consoles. And I know a lot of people feel that way as well. It's more of what's going to come down to is the overall exclusives. And in that regard, I kind of have to give it to PlayStation for my
Oh
own
yeah,
personal bias.
100%.
One, due to games like Final Fantasy, but two, and I've had this conversation, I think, on a couple podcasts now, but it also needs to be said here as well. Someone like me and James, who we own the Ultimate Game Pass, everything that we want that's exclusive from Microsoft is going to be playable on our computer.
Which kind of fucked Microsoft in my opinion, because you no longer need to go buy the new Xbox to play these new games.
Right.
Whereas if you want to play these Sony games, you have to go buy the new PlayStation.
Correct.
So I feel like Microsoft kind of fucked up there, but
I do too. Everybody I've kind of talked to about it kind of disagrees. It's like fucking JoJo and them were saying, they sell these consoles at a loss already. But I just feel with one, them selling the consoles at a loss, and then also at the same time, them taking price off of the live and just putting it into the one package and not raising the price of the Ultimate Pass. I mean, I feel like that's two losses in a row. And then on top of that, it's like, yeah, they might not be getting the money, but the money is kind of going to one of their competitors. Because let's be fair, Nintendo is an option, even though, in my opinion, whenever it's always come to the console wars, Nintendo's always been a fucking joke. But Nintendo is an option. So the money's going to go to Nintendo or it's going to go to Sony. And whenever you look at certain gamers, and a lot of gamers are like this, and time has proven that over and over and over again, where usually whenever you look at a specific console, there's a reason you get that console. Sony is nothing more but a Final Fantasy machine to me. That's it. Nintendo is nothing more than Zelda and Smash Bros. That's it. Everything else, computer. Literally everything else, computer. Before I was a computer gamer, Halo and all my other games were Xbox. 100%. But now it's everything is on my computer, and now including Halo. And Nintendo, I strictly get for Zelda. I strictly get for Smash Bros. PlayStation, Final Fantasy. Other than that, I don't give a shit. I'll play other shit, sure. Why not? And as we go on through these next couple months leading all the way into the holidays, you'll hear me and James talk about these different games. Some of them that are on our list of things we want to get, and some of them might not be necessarily something we want to get, but it was a big topic to cover, so we covered it. But I mean, like for instance, Spider-Man. I'll play the new Spider-Man when it comes out because fucking I love Marvel. But it's not something that's gonna be like egging like it. If I had a chance, like let's just throw a wild scenario out, but for some reason I could only buy one game for 2021, and both Spider-Man and Final Fantasy 16 released on day 1 of January, I'm getting 16. That's happening, and I'm not even gonna fucking
right.
think about Spider-Man. It's literally not gonna cross my mind.
Spider-Man's one of those games
Yeah,
that like if I get it, I get it. If I don't,
right,
well,
exactly. It's literally not gonna fucking cross my mind. I'm not gonna fucking lose a wink of sleep. It's not gonna happen because once again, my PlayStation solely is here for Final Fantasy. That is mainly what it's here for. If I get other stuff, cool, sweet. I've talked about getting the Crash Bandicoot series and the fucking Spyro series and stuff like that on my actual PlayStation 4. I haven't done it. But I can tell you what I was doing all morning this morning. Once I got my Elgato fixed, I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, like I said, that's what the system is there for me, and that's kind of how that's probably going to continue to be. And like I said, it's just going to come down to exclusives. And in my opinion, Sony's back in the day, I feel like Sony and Microsoft were just fucking neck and neck with exclusives. And I feel over the last release of this console and last year or last the decade's console, I guess, Sony's kind of started to pull away in the winning spot for that, and it sucks at one point because inside I feel like I'm still a bigger Microsoft fan than I am a Sony fan, but at the same time, it's like once again that's where my fucking love of video games is fucking Final Fantasy, and it's on Sony, so is what it is, I guess. I mean, you got fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. Fucking everybody loves that shit. I mean, you got all the different. I mean, there's just so much shit, dude. There's just we could go on and on with the fucking exclusives for Sony. It's ridiculous, and we will be whenever we're covering them for the fucking specific review shows. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's not too much more to really talk about on this subject. We really just wanted to more talk about some of the differences, which we did, and just to kind of give people a deeper look. I strongly encourage you to go look at these specs yourself if specs is something that's big to you. Once again, whenever it also comes to pricing and stuff, I urge you to actually look into shit. Make sure you're reading fine prints on some of these if you're going to be doing the Microsoft shit. Like I said, there's loopholes and shit in there for reasons for them, and they will take full advantage of that. So make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. A lot of people, like I said, they see that zero up front and zero APR, and they jump on it, and they don't really think about the backlash of what happens when you can't make those payments. So, and 2 years is a lot of time. And I'm a sales rep, and this is part of my job is to be able to forecast my commissions and shit like that. And I can tell you right now, I mean, I'm trained to be able to fucking forecast like 3 months. To forecast 2 years, that's a fucking far stretch to be able to know whether or not you're going to be able to make those payments for fucking 2 years. So yeah, it's unless you got something just sitting in the bank and you're just taking it out one at a time just to have that extra back there, then by all means fucking do you. But just like I said, make sure you read your fine prints and shit like that. We didn't really have too much to go on here because a lot of this is, like I said, we can talk specs till we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, it's not going to mean shit besides exclusives, and everybody knows what the exclusives are, and we're saving those for other shows that we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, which should be fun. But other than that, that's pretty much my closing thoughts on this. James, did you have anything that you wanted to add to it?
No.
Sweet. So, as I said at the beginning of the show, I want to go ahead and reiterate that here. We are going to be doing a show for a lot of games coming up soon. You will be seeing 2 review shows coming out every Wednesday. There should be one released at 7, one released at noon, and we're going to be covering at least 2 games a week leading all the way up to the holidays. We should have some guest stars on some as well. I know that we've already got Tony from Darkstar who wants to be on a couple, which will be fun and stuff like that. So we can kind of talk back and forth about certain games and everything else. But basically, it will be one game will be pretty much the subject of that episode. Obviously, we're humans, so we'll lead off on tangents here and there, I'm pretty sure. But we'll try to stick to the subject as best as possible. We plan on having the trailer going on in the background as well to give you guys something visually to go on and shit like that too. Should be a lot of fun. But other than that, make sure that if you like this content, you hit that button and subscribe as well. Turn on the notifications so that way you get notified when we start releasing these episodes talking about the games. So that way maybe your game that you want to know about and want us to dive deeper into might be one of them. Who knows? Hit us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you're going to be ordering the Xbox or you're going to be ordering the PS5. I do feel that at this point, I should say that as far as right now, both systems are completely sold out pre-order wise, right? I think I'm correct on that.
So, yeah, I believe they both sold out relatively quickly.
I think it was like within minutes on each one of them. So good luck on Second Wave. If you're like me and you're only wanting Final Fantasy, we don't need to worry about that shit till 2021. So we got a ways to go before we have to worry about getting our PlayStation 5s. And that's an if. We still don't have a fucking release date on Remake Part 2 or 16. So we're hoping by the end of 2021. But we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, so make sure you jump in the comment section below. Let us know if you're planning on going Xbox, if you're planning on going PC, if you're or staying PC, or if you're planning on going PlayStation. Or hey, throw a fucking wrench in it and tell me you're fucking going Nintendo and fuck Xbox and fuck PlayStation. That'd be mind blowing. I don't know what's wrong with you, but hey, you've got a right to your opinion, so throw it down there in the comment section. Other than that, what?
Something to add real quick. If you want to pre-order either one, there's new stock coming in October the 13th.
Which is today.
Okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter then.
So by the time they'll be hearing this, it'll be tomorrow. So
it's going to be sold out. Sorry.
So yeah, yesterday, because we're recording this the day before it comes out. So yeah. Anyways, so yesterday you had a chance. At this point, we're recording this at 4 p.m. Central Time. It's probably already sold out. So yeah, so there's that. Good luck on the second waves. But yeah, other than that, like I said, there's Twitter and Twitch links in the description below. Make sure to check those out so that way you can get either a more direct form of communication, or come by and watch me and James stream. I know JoJo streams as well. We're always out there streaming and having a good time, so make sure you come by and hang out. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.